Ernie's Neighborhood by Deborah Kovacs. Illustrated by Joe Ewers. It was a busy Saturday morning on Sesame Street. David was washing the windows at Hooper's store. Susan and Gordon were planting in the little garden in front of 123 Sesame Street. Big Bird was riding his unicycle. Ernie was the only one in the neighborhood who wasn't busy. Ernie, Bert called from the window. Would you please mail this letter at the post office? Sure, Bert, said Ernie. It's my entry in the bottle cap collectors contest, said Bert. The first prize is a trip to the Figgy Fizz bottling company. The envelope has to be mailed today, and I promised I'll help Susan and Gordon plant their garden. Can you get there by 12 o'clock? That's when the post office closes. You could count on me, old buddy, said Ernie. As Ernie passed it, Oscar's can Bruno was tossing trash into a big white sanitation truck. Sanitation truck. Trash pickup day is my favorite day of the week, said Ernie. Look at all this great junk I saved. That's nice, Ernie. That's nice, Oscar, said Ernie. But I can't stay. I have to go to the post office to mail this important letter for Bert. Ernie walked it on. As he hurried past the library, he heard the library reading a story. Rumpelstiltskin is my name, she read. It's story hour, he said to himself. Mrs. Anderson is reading my favorite story. Ernie sat down on the library steps and listened to the story until the end. Ernie waved at the manager of Playful Pets as he passed it by. I don't have time to stop today, he called. Ernie stopped it in the pet store for just a little while. As Ernie waited at the red light, a fire truck zoomed by. I wonder where the fire truck is going, he thought. Then he followed it. The fire truck drove the fire station and parked it inside. Ernie saw the firefighters climb off the truck. He watched them wash and polish the fire truck. Want to help? Asked the captain. He handed Ernie a soft cloth. You could give a brass bell a good shine. In the playground outside the Sesame Street school, kids were playing games. Grover and some friends were playing softball. Ernie stopped to watch Harry Master at the bat. Harry swung and hit the bat and flew high over the fence. I've got it, cried Ernie, and he ran to catch the ball. After the game, Ernie passed in Mr. McIntosh's fruit and vegetable stand. Mr. McIntosh was taking shiny red apples out of a crate and stacking them. Hi, Ernie, said Mr. McIntosh. Do you want an apple today? Thanks, Mr. McIntosh, said Ernie. I'll eat it on my way to the post office. I have to mail an important letter for my buddy Bert. On his way again, Ernie munched at his apple. Then he heard a loud whistle shrieked in from behind the fence. At a construction site. I'll just peek in it for a second, he said. The construction site is the busiest place in the neighborhood. said Ernie as he watched a truck pour cement into buckets. Then he watched a huge crane lift the buckets of cement to the top of the building. I'd sure like to run a big crane like that someday, said Ernie. Ernie meant to hurry past the barber shop, but then he saw Grover sitting in the barber's chair. Ernie watched Grover get a fur cut. Just a little bit of off the top, please, Grover said to Mr. Snippet. As Ernie hurried past Hooper's store, he spotted a sign in the window. Monster Berry Crunch is the flavor of the week, my favorite, he said. Maybe I'll have just one scoop. Cuckoo, cuckoo, where's that bird? Ernie wondered. He followed the sound to the fixer shop. Louise, what is the noise? Asked Ernie. It's Bob's cuckoo clock, said Louise. I'm fixing it. Listen. A bird popped in and out of the clock when it sings cuckoo 12 times. That means it's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, cried Ernie. Oh no, I have to get Bert's letter to the post office. Ernie ran out of the fix-it shop and down the street. Ernie's feet pounded up the steps to the post office. He imagined he could hear the cuckoo clock chiming 12 already. He raced it up to a counter. Please, I have to mail Bert's Fizz letter, he said to the postal worker. I'll promise to mail it today. I ran to get there by 12. Ernie stopped it out of breath. Don't worry, she said. Your letter will go out today. You made it just in time. Oh, thank you, said Ernie. When Ernie got back to Sesame, Bert said, You missed a busy morning at Sesame. Did you mail my letter in time, Ernie? Sure, Bert, said Ernie. No problem. The end.